Alright, good morning everybody. CryptoVince here. Let me remove this. So let's wait for a few members. So, Rage, always learning something new whenever I join your stream. Thank you, man. That's why I do the live stream. Pretty much. Not too much to predict Bitcoin, but more for educational purpose. So if you're learning something new every time, that means it's working. So let's wait for a few members. I'm just going to go over BTC only, and then I will open another stream for altcoins for my private channel. This might be pretty long. Usually they go over 1 hour when I do those Bitcoin review. There are a few interesting things that I would like to analyze. I will start from the lower time frame because that's the most important one at this point. Probably from the 4 hours. I'm not going to go in the 1 hour. I don't really care too much because I would like to predict the midterm, also the short term from the 4 hour, I would say. But I'm more focusing on the higher time frame actually later on. There are many patterns that we need to figure it out. Sorry if I speak like this, but I have a retainer in my mouth and then I cannot speak properly. Still learning how to speak properly with this thing. And that's it. We will review the CME future chart, then to figure out the gaps and where we can dump, and then the overall idea, because in the higher time frame I see some bearish pattern that I don't really like that much. So a total full review. So we are 15 people right now. Hey, Sledge, is it going? Okay. So first of all, I have a 1 million Bitcoin charts that I charted. I use probably them all when I do my BTC. So whatever you see here is charted. But this is the most important. Looking at price action in the 4 hour time frame, we see a massive amount of pump and dump on every single pump, pretty much. So every time the coin goes up with one full candle in 4 hour, then we will see another one going in the other direction. Why this happen? Usually, and I explained this into my premium channel already. This happens because the price actually doesn't build any support. Okay, and you can see here too, massive green candle, and boom, dump right after. Here it didn't have though. This is the only time it didn't have a massive pump followed by a drop. So this drop actually happened without a massive pump. On the other hand, every time Bitcoin went up quickly, we had a counter sell-off every single time. So this is the only time that this didn't happen. Because for example here, we went higher, slower, building some support, and of course it didn't crash. But here, went up fast, crashed, then went up slower, building support. So it was building support. It was not a bad spike as it happened here, here, and here, but it crashed too. So there are so many sell-off that are happening since 6-8. This is the range that for me describe the seller territory and the buyer. So we're still in buyer's territory until we don't break below 6-8. Okay. Still holding above this main range that I was looking. This is my important level, but it actually starts from here. This is just the swing of that the range. And Bitcoin just dropped right on it. I traced a chart into my premium channel to say that this was the level to look for. This level right here, okay? And it's bouncing up and down. Why is that an important level to watch? Why that one? First of all, it's an important level. All those other things up and down are all false breakouts. This is the most important level, also because it's the POC of the VPVR indicator. If you guys have a premium trading view, you guys can take this indicator from indicator, volume profile, visible range. Okay, this will tell you. Oh, I cannot trade on XBT. I have to open another chart. Let's see if let's see what chart I got. There's something on it. PVR. This is Bitcoin. Okay. Actually, the CME chart is interesting. Okay. Okay, it charted on XBT USD, but it doesn't do on XBT. So, as you guys can see, if I trade the VPVR indicator, if I activated the VPVR indicator on this time frame, the POC of the VPVR, so the highest volume node. So this indicator will tell you how many transactions happen on a current level, price level. Very similar from the volume that we have below, but the volume below is on a exact time. Okay, this is the volume on an exact time. This is the volume on an exact price. That's the difference. So this high volume node, it's the area where that attracts more the price. Okay, so the price will stay there more compared to where there is no volume in those area here. This is a low volume node. Okay, and this is a high volume node. Oh, I almost raised a dick, but so in the low volume node, you won't see the price staying there too much. That's why you see those massive candles that never stay inside this range. This is the range that we're looking. This is the low volume node. You can see the price never stays there too much, and also on the one below. So here inside this range, you won't see the price staying there as much. So you guys can see that how the candle just cross above this indicator and never stay here. Just here they build some support, and that's why it's kind of funny that it kind of dropped there. But anyways, you can actually use this indicator and the high volume node of this indicator as a possible targets and possible support and resistance. Okay, for example, if you were here, the price was holding on the high volume node area, which is this one, and I'm gonna make it green. Okay, was holding here. Look how many times, how long it stays inside this high volume node area. And when it spikes, where do you think it reaches? It reaches the next one. Okay, when it drops to high volume node. When it goes up to high volume node. Okay, so try to see this as HVN. So when I do my live stream on Bitcoin, I mean they are never just straight prediction. I try to to explain as I go a few things that I come up with and I use all the time. Okay, high volume node, low volume node, high volume node, and then you have the highest volume node, which is this red line that is actually the POC. Sorry, my retainer doesn't allow me to speak properly. Price label. The POC. It's called point of control, and is actually the highest HVN of the VPVR indicator. I'm not sure if everybody can use this indicator. I think it's a premium feature of TradingView. Anyways, if you have a premium feature, you can actually also this is important to say, because the visible range, so whatever you guys can see here, that's what VPVR means, volume profile of a visible range. The volume profile will change if I take more range in consideration. Okay, so more chart you see, the VPVR indicator will adjust to that. Okay, so if I take more and more and more, the VPVR indicator will change every time. See, now the VPVR, the POC, so the highest volume node, is actually on 3.8. Okay, if you don't want to screw up things, you can use actually the fixed volume profile, fixed range, and you can actually trace your range that you want to add it. Here we go, and it will tell you just on this fixed range which one is the VPVR point of control, and you can see it's the same one that I traced before. So like this, it won't change when you move the chart around. Okay, I've used it on free before. Okay, so well, maybe it is a free. Hey Matt, well, we're just trying to figure out now if we will go back up. I have many things to look for before to come up with that conclusion. I mean, when we see something like that, usually can come back up, but will it come back up to re-enter the rising wedge, or it will retest the rising wedge? So that's an important thing that we have to watch. And there are other things also in the higher time frame that are very, very important. Anyways, HVN. This is what I see in the 4-hour time frame. What else we can see that is interesting? I was doing an analysis of the candles. I mean, sellers are coming in. That's my opinion at the moment. So my opinion is sellers are selling. That's for sure. We have a 30 million sell here. We had another massive sell today. Look at those red candles. On the previous pump, the pump happened very, very fast. So when this drop happened, boom, 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 it recovered pretty quickly. And even here. But why those green candle, why price recovered so much on every single attempt and not here? Actually, not here. Why here it didn't pump hard? Well, first of all, I think the CME gap can be an answer, because when many traders see these gaps and place order just below the gap, you may imagine how many orders can be triggered, and the coin can spike in a second. So this happened again. This happened here. This happened here. I'm not sure if when it will drop to 7.2, but I think it has to fill that gap. Those guys that are left here, they want a piece of the cake too. So in my opinion, we will drop to 7.268 again. I'm not sure when. That's what I'm trying to figure out today. and then we reach important levels on the higher time frame. That's why probably buyers are not going crazy as before, and because there is that rising wedge, massive rising wedge that we all know already broke down. Let's see if I can find it. Where is my rising wedge? I think on Coinbase. Yeah. Okay. So this is the range to watch that I trade in my premium. It's now below the range, but I mean slightly below. We can kind of skip if it's just a false breakout. Remember, we live in a world that false breakout are all over the place. I traded this this rising wedge. There we go. They actually broke on this drop. If that's the case, I connected all the wicks. I post an analysis in on my Twitter to know which one is the right line. Is this or is the other one that you can trace from this low? And it broke out too, actually. So also the line broke, the red one. Yes. So by counting this level, we have 1, 2, 3 touch that confirms the trend line. We have a drop, then a retest of that level, and a nice drop. The retest happened on the breaker, that that we spot actually after making a false breakout. So everything started from the swing failure pattern that happened here. So price attempt to break this swing high and didn't make it, and the price boom dropped. Same thing happened here. Okay, price tried to break with a nice actually with a nice candle here. This was even more worse than this, because here there was actually a pump, FOMO pump. Breakout traders got in and boom, they got smashed. So this was manipulation there. As soon as I've seen this, traced my breaker block and shorted on the breaker when price reached the same level. The same block that took out the stops. Okay, that's pretty much what the trade was. Let's see what I did here. So that was the trade. We were discussing in premium if to short on the 4-hour breaker block in the 2-hour breaker block, which is the black one, and we decided that it's safer when trading this breaker block to enter on 2 or 3 attempts, because many whales stop hunt you if you're trying to short the breaker as soon as it reaches the price. So as soon as you see this confirmation candle, you don't enter here, you enter either on the green candle here, or when price reaches this level again, you can place a stop above your swing here. Okay, so in this case, the correct trade would have been a short position starting from here with a stop above price, above the swing, the most current swing. And I mean, I would have put, because of the 2-hour time frame, my my target would have been around here, I guess, around this level, even though the longest level that I also traced in the analysis was this one, which is the block that caused the pump, okay, which also was a breaker block on the other side. Okay, The breaker block is actually this one is the breaker block I'm talking about, the bullish breaker. Okay, so if you know about, if you learn more about this breaker block, you could have attempt a short here, wide here. This happened in the 15 minutes time frame. I don't want to show you now, but it happened. um, and then a long position from this breaker here. So as soon as you touch the breaker, pumped, and then you short again, and actually price reached that breaker block. And now it's trying to go up, but I mean, when we see this green candle, that doesn't mean we're gonna go up. Okay, so just because you see a rejection, like a bounce, it doesn't mean we have to go to 9.5 right now. We have to see many things before to come with that the conclusion. The weekly trend is still bullish, even if it drops a bit. It's because people stop losses. People have been saying 6 doesn't sound like it could happen. Bitcoin could come back to 8K. Yes, I mean, the higher time frame is still bullish, and also this one is still bullish. So until it doesn't drop below until it doesn't drop below 6.8, it's still bullish. So it's still in buyer territory. I put this green candle above here is buyer, below this it's red. So you can actually go all the way down to make a major ABC and then go back up. This is the case if it will go down to fill the S in what's called the CME the CME, because in Italian S is C, so it's a mess. I get confused sometimes. Anyways, yes, SME chart price could drop to fill that gap. Actually, it's better here. This unfilled gap. If you guys do an historical analysis of SCME future chart, you will see that every single gap was filled in the past. I've seen it. I've looked at it. So there is no gap that was left unfilled ever. So why this gap has to get should be stay unfilled? I don't think that will be the case. I think we will drop. The question is, we will go another leg and then drop more, or we are already dropping. That's what I'm trying to figure it out, and that won't be easy because first of all, the market is super manipulated, so we really don't know what the whales are up to, because most of the time if we predict the dump, the coin, they make the coin pump. So it goes in the opposite direction. Let's see the greed index. What's telling me? The greed is, oh, it's a 42. Wow. Dumped fear in the market. 42 from 66, 71, 63. Damn, 42 is bad. 42 is really bad. There's fear in the market, so sentiment might turn bearish. Fear, people sell. Okay. So there was this what is it? Edu channel. There was this article on Reddit that was talking about what happened today. BTC dump, pure whale manipulation. They were moving 215 million. So they dumped on their buy limit. and they make actually 50 million to do that. They probably shorted on BitMEX also. They actually bought the same amount of BTC, 15 million cheaper. So I don't want to get confused with this. I mean, yes, this guy is probably thinking, okay, these guys are did this and that. They bought it back, but I'm not gonna count on his word to predict what BTC will do. Because if this is the case, and they bought back 200 million coins, we should still go up because they just bought back. They just manipulate the price to cause a crash to buy Bitcoin a little bit cheaper, but they're still in. So this doesn't tell me too much. I would like to see the chart better. Turns out it was a cold wallet owned by Coinbase. Yeah, they're all connected. Coinbase, BitMEX. Guess what? It happens when BitMEX went in maintenance. So who knows what's behind the scenes. That's why we also need to be aware of the manipulation, and we need to use our risk because shit can happen. And that's why it's important sometimes to try to be ahead of them and trying to spot what they can do, thinking opposite of what it might happen actually. This is not easy, of course. It's more sentimental analysis and more price action based, but the fact that there are this massive sell-off and price keep being up, I don't know. I I personally translate this as people FOMOing into BTC, especially this last one. Um, Massive sell-off, FOMO about retailers. Look at the candles, how small they were. FOMO, 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 FOMO. Then reached the breaker block. Boom. Sell off again by the whales of or institutions. Again, I was just trying to understand why here it dumped so hard and not here, but here it got filled by the CME gap. Around here there was what was it? Facebook news that caused some FOMO, and then price dropped. So those pump are really not important to me. The pump that don't make any support. Okay, so I'm trying to look at the candles and trying to see, okay, what they actually mean. In the shorter time frame, I actually traced the market structure. We made an ABC correction. The overall wave, because I consider this a little Elliott wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC, that corrected 61%. Then we have another wave started from here, and it's a legit wave. The fifth just didn't make an higher high, just made a swing failure pattern. For me, still a wave, and the overall wave retraced 78%. So it's still good for a possible pump, but will we make another one? Will we make another one or not? I mean, it looks bearish to me. It looks really bearish. Let's see what level we should break above in order for me to think that we might go up at least. Well, this is not a level. You know that. So first of all, just in the short time frame, I want to see how much buyers can push the price upward against the seller. So right now, buyers push the price above 23%, not even, so still at 38%. Sellers are still stronger. See volume. Volume is not displayed on this chart, XPT. We'll look at that later on. But at the moment, I have way many more bearish signal that bullish. And I will show you one by one. Crypto bear finger analysis on pair with the best analysis in the space. Thank you. Appreciate the beard. I think I'm just honest with what I see. Instead of and I mean I've explained this in my free channel. I just play with ifs. I mean this is predictions. This is not math. So I will never know 100% if BTC will go up to 9K or it will drop to 6.8. I play with levels. Okay, if the 2-hour breaker broke, if coin reacts there, okay, I'm gonna try to short. There will be a risk involved every time I take a trade. That's normal. That's why I'm trying to understand. Many confluence you see in the chart. Possibly a prediction will go towards your idea, because like if you see swing failure pattern in the weekly, you see a level that got broken in the 4-hour time frame, the daily showing bearishness, there is a massive bearish divergence on RSI. Like, damn, how many things can fuck up for your prediction to go wrong? Well, the big problem for this that I notice in crypto is manipulation. So sometimes you do the best analysis that you want to do and you can do, but at the end it will go in the opposite direction, because there are some whales that can sell $30 million in Bitcoin and make the price crash. So, and unfortunately that's the market we have to trade in, and that's no solution to that. Okay, but if you are able to spot some of the manipulation, as we did with the swing failure pattern here, as soon as this pump went up and got stopped out and crashed, that's already there. The whales are there pushing the price down and liquidating all the longs that trying to go long here on this breakout. So when that happens, we have to be smart and keep going short if that's the case. By the way, by the look of the shorter time frame, we broke market structure. So counting only this area, we are in seller mode. Okay, of course, if you count the overall area, we are still in buyer's territory. Okay, this wave retraced way below wave 5. So let's see if by a week, no. So I don't like my Elliott wave, the idea of another one, talking about this one. That won't follow, this will not follow the rules of Elliott. I'm trying to think about another 3-wave pattern, and there are few. The rising wedge is there, already broke down. Let's see. This is not tracing valley, no. The three falling peaks goes in the other direction. Just trying to think about some pattern that might help us to figure this out. The three drives pattern. I don't think the Fibonacci matches. No, under 72. That's too much. So the important level, to be honest, at this point, is not a number, it's a range. So the range that I'm going to look for is the same range that it traced in the previous chart, and that it's this range here. That's the range where I say the high volume node 2. So we have to just keep an eye on this range. If it starts to go up from above 8191, it's going to be bullish. Otherwise, will drop. This is the money spot. That's where we decide. I mean, it's not easy at this point, but that's the range we have to look for. After such a dump, we have to see if price will just hit here and drop more, or it can keep going up. Very hard to say at the moment. Of course, if you are scalping it on the 1 hour and 3 minutes you bought after the dump, you can make some quick profit, but that's not the case for me. That I'm trying to understand the mid term and also the longer term. Anyways, talking about 4 hour, we talked a lot about it. What else can I see? The 17th Fibonacci could be a bullish. Let's check oscillators. Well, oscillators, actually drop all the way down, so that's another bullish bullish indicator. RSI reached the oversold area on the 4 hour, and that can cause a spike up. But a spike up, how much up? So that's another question you have to ask yourself. This is the WT cross, was very low here, and didn't reach, yes, it reached the same level as it did here. Okay, that's the flat top. Mm-hmm. 2 hour crossing already. Yeah, RSI is very oversold actually. So I will keep this in mind. Let me write down because it's important. RSI oversold in the 4 hour. It's a good time frame to check for oscillators. Okay. So I will finish the 4 hour and then I go in the higher time frame to see different things, to see the longer. I'm trying to this in Coinbase. Look at the selling volume on the 4 hour. Look at the spikes, how big they are compared to the green. This was a massive green. This was a green, and then follow up volume was selling up volume was high, and we actually dropped below the flat top triangle that was forming, or pennant. Let's trace that. Bitfinex. Check on it. Yeah, this one I don't like anymore because I traced that, failed, boom boom boom. So let's check on Bitfinex, Bitmax. Logarithmic scale. Can even trace a nice. I was trying to trace a diagonal, but hmm. I'm going more with the horizontal levels, and I think this was on the higher time frame more a flat top triangle. Okay. If you take the average um, idea from the candle close, you can see a triangle that broke, retested, tried again, didn't make a higher high, and dropped. So in this case, I'm bearish. If we want to be more precise by counting the wicks on the lower time frame, I have the rising wedge idea. From here, it's a legit one. Logarithmic and linear scale. With a bearish divergence also on RSI. What is this? Some indicators I was trying. Bearish divergence that I noticed the other day. I posted also on free channel. Bearish divergence that indicates a change in trend. Also a drop, of course, when it happened, but most of the time um, it indicates a change in trend because this divergence is regular. Divergences happen over a bought or oversold level of RSI making a lower high and price making a higher high. Always trace the body of the candles to trace divergence because that's how RSI is formed, by the candle close. That's why you don't trace the wicks. In fact, the RSI here, yeah, you don't see a wave that comes here. Respect to the candle body. Anyways, it's dropping from here. That's the divergence where it started, and it's actually reversing. Divergences previously didn't really do anything to the price, to be honest. So that's another thing we have to count, and that's why it's so fucked up to trade Bitcoin with the divergences, because here actually dropped here about nice dropped. He had about 12%. That's a lot. And then didn't change direction, went up again. But look how selling increased. Remember, the Bitcoin trend since 3K has been parabolic. So that's why I've been trying to look for a correction so much. Correction that we got lucky here because the coin dumped and many people had orders on 6.4. Super cold in my premium channel, that 6.4 from 8.3, 8.4. So the coin dumped $2,000 in one shot. So why it cannot fucking arrive to 7.2? Like everybody's like, oh, it can't. Like it did already. It just did. Why it cannot go to 7.2 or 6.8? 24%. Like everything can happen. 7.2 is not that far, it's here. And that would be a nice level, a nice level for a possible bounce, because it's right on a nice level on the daily. This candle close retested and is going up, so yes, it can go to 7.2. 7.2 for me will be the line between bull and bears. So if it goes below 7.2, 6.8 will be the extremely lowest range where it can wick and go back up quickly, otherwise it's gonna drop more. Okay, so in the 4-hour time frame I will be looking at current range. If it breaks above or below, then if it keeps going down, this is the range on the 1-day chart that I will evaluate. So this is the guy that we need to beat. The seller need to beat, starting from here. Price drops below that, it's a problem. I've been trying to trace Elliott that comes from the bottom of this trend, but trend is not that precise for me to see waves. To see Elliott waves, I mean the one that I came up with after this triangle that happened here. So the Elliott wave will start from the break of the triangle, maybe a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That could be one. With respect to the waves. This could be a legit wave, to be honest. Third is the longest. Fifth can be, however, can be shorter, can be longer. Depends how much FOMO there is. But you guys can see the red candles are there increasing, right? Higher we go, faster it drops. That's why the coin is parabolic. That's why this is happening. It's normal. This is 3-day time frame, and actually we have a bearish divergence on the 3-day time frame, which we didn't have on the this level. On the first wave, we actually have a bearish divergence on 3-day time frame, which is another important indicator. I'm gonna put down bearish div on 3-day. Important, because some players don't really care about little fluctuation, they just care about major swing. Okay, so if that's the case, we have a bearish divergence, so price is making higher high, oscillator is making a lower high, and it might drop, might change direction. Same thing that happened here. Here we have a bullish divergence, price making higher high, sorry, oscillator making higher high, and price making a lower low. What I'm talking about, sorry, I'm getting confused. So those are the lows, okay? So higher lows and lower lows. Here we go. Remember, when tracing a bullish divergence, you gotta trace the lows, both price and oscillators. When tracing a bearish divergence, you trace the highs. Okay, and those regular divergence happen in the oversold or overbought, sorry, overbought or oversold level. Okay, this is overbought, this is oversold. Hidden divergence are the one that happen inside the range, so inside the RSI, and they're a little bit different, but I'm not gonna go over right now. What else we can check on this guy? Well, let's go in the higher time frame because it's getting scary there too, right? On the higher time frame, weekly, we have a massive evening star, so a green candle. It was still bullish, but closing way lower than the previous one. We have a spinning top, almost a doji, I would say here, massive doji, um, indicating indecision, so people don't know what the hell to do. And follow up by a red candle, that means maybe they're deciding to sell. So let's keep an eye on that. Let's keep an eye on that 7268. Let's keep an eye on. Let's put a Fibonacci level from where the wave starts up to our point, and our range will be 50%. So if this retrace, that would be a 50% retracement. Amazing, amazing. I hope it retraces 50%, because that could be good. I mean, it doesn't mean Bitcoin will go to 1K. 50% retracement, it will be amazing for the bullishness of it. It just retraces and then goes up again. I mean, I hope so. And also keeping my oscillator RSI is dropping tiny below 70 level. Okay, dropping below 70 level. Let me check volume here. Is it all right? Yes, my volume is good. Won't be bad, won't be bad. Okay, and then if I activate my VPVR indicator, let's check where does it go. Here we go. High volume node, remember that? So the highest volume node will be on 61%. So right on 6.4, where the coin dumped on that crash from 8.4 down to 6.4. Why did it jump there? Because there was the POC level. So you know what, a nice drop to 7.2, quickly weaken to the HVN and then go back up won't be a terrible idea. This is the higher time frame though, okay? So you have to count for wicks and candle close, because the volatility at this point it's crazy. Okay. What are other signs of bearishness on this level? Well, I check on my other charts because I trace lots of them. If I have some chart, probably more on my Bitcoin chart layout. Okay, this is interesting. I noticed today on the logarithmic scale on the 3-day chart. Okay, well, I kept an eye on this 3-day breaker block, because this is a block, so the red candle is the one that caused the last crazy pump. Okay, then there was a false breakout, so candle never stayed above this level. This is a false breakout. Be careful on the 3-day time frame. Okay, if I go on the 4-hour, this was tradable, But remember, every time frame will change. So if I'm tracing the 1 hour, it's a different story than 3 day time frame. Okay, this is a false breakout. Was never able to stay above the breaker. Then it went up. Um, Never broke below. Never really confirmed a downtrend. Then price went back up. Tried again. False breakout. Then the real breakout. It broke, retested, and continuation. So that's why this level for me it's important. And at the moment, you guys can see also how the price on the first attempt got smashed by that level. Got smashed. Okay. So that level is important. You can see that. You can totally see that on the first rejection, boom, dump hard. Then broke it above it, stayed a little bit, actually broke it, stayed 2 candles on it, and now it might drop. So if it drops below that level, I think the correction that I was talking about below 7268 might happen. Okay, look at that, the POC. And guys, remember 6.3 is the strongest support, the support that hold for more than 1 year. So it is the strongest support. It might drop there. Why not? Why so bullish? Things can go up forever and ever. Some people are gonna make money. That's trading. That's trading. During this is BitMEX. I'm not sure if he has too much history. No. I have my brainwave coin. Brave, 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 brave. Bitstamp. Oh, I don't have it here. But anyways, you guys can see how many correction it did during the bullish run. Okay, like actually you can see better if I put Ekinashi candles on the weekly. You can see how many correction it did during the previous run, right? So that's the correction I'm waiting to enter long term. And those corrections are whole, starting from here, price retraced 50% on the first attempt. Then start back here and did another 70%. You guys can see that? 70, right? Then it went up from here again and it dropped 61%. This is a logarithmic scale, so you don't notice the spike. But if I go on linear, if I move, maybe you will able to see. Nah, not even. Anyways, it's straightforward. You guys can see that it's a 50%. I trace the Fibonacci. Then it went up again and retraced 78%. Then it went up again, retraced 50%, and so on. So every time it went, there was one time that it dropped that it did 50 or 60%, 60%, and 78%, and then it dumped hard. So how many times it dropped 50%? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So you could have had 7 attempts to buy Bitcoin and make so much more than to know the target. I think with a nice Fibonacci retracement on my way, which is different than most of traders, which is in inverse Fibonacci, you aim for 261 or under 61%, and you find your targets. See? So, anyways, not to go long, right now we don't have a red yet. So can this be our 50% retracement? Well, we need to see a red candle on the weekly, on Ekinashi, actually a doji, and the doji might close on this candle, and then a red candle, and then that could be a drop, as it happened on the Ekinashi setup, down to 50%. Where is our 50%? That will be on 6K, 6K, 6.6. You know, we say the level 6.8 on 38, 6K on 50. I don't know if you can go to 6K, but you can wick down there. It can actually helps you to figure out which are the strongest level, and consider our way. These are important, and of course also below on 4.9, that's another level. But I'm gonna count on my VPVR indicator that we don't drop below, and we stay, which you guys can see how strong is that level, high volume. Okay, but I'm counting on this one. If we just drop below 6.4, that would be bad. So that will mean that all these things was a manipulation, and we're dropping lower. But I don't think that's the case. Let's just keep an eye on a small correction, in my opinion. 7.2, 7.268. I say. Is the weekly starting to drop? MACD can still go. Very lagging indicator. Let's check moving averages, because moving averages have been helping a lot, and they are very bullish. The moving average they look like showing some momentum. They're very bullish. There are many crosses about to happen on the weekly time frame. We know how things happen in the past. The moving average 200 is the one that hold the trend for so long. Also in the 2014, as you can see here, and we have tons of bullish cross that are signaling that this thing reversed already. Remember, moving average is lagging indicator, so they happen because the price went up. So bullish cross here between 10 and 20, here between 10 and 50, bullish cross between 100 and 10. So we can drop to retest those moving averages, where we can retest same level 6.8. If you think, put a projection of this line, green, and the red, that they might actually go up to make a possible cross. If the price goes up, that will be good. Bullish cross between 50 and 100, it's important. But you know, retest of the moving average or this 100 could be something, right? I'm not bearish, guys. I'm just bearish short term. I just want a correction. That's it. Because higher we go without building support, harder we will drop. So I really don't want to reach 20K and then dump to 1K as it happened here, right? Boom, 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 boom. Ooh, look at Bollinger Bands. Very oversold. I mean, on the weekly it's pretty hard to use this indicator and say, hey, there is a correction that's gonna happen, because it can keep being oversold, and we have no clue. The Ikimoku cloud, I think there is the 26 that's acting as It's acting as a resistance here. This is crypto settings 2060 and the 2030. Yeah, some could be rejection. I think rejection is more on the flat area, not as much as here. I don't use the weekly cloud as much, but you know it's an indicator of long term that can help see what happened on the in the 2014. Yeah, just attempt to enter here. Actually, it got rejected on the cloud on the first attempt. Rejection, stayed below. Rejection also on the moving average 100, then broke the moving average 100, retested the moving average 100, so the green line, and then kept being above either the green and also the 10 and the 20 that followed the trend. Okay, then when the bull run started, which is when was extremely bullish, when the cross between 50 and 100 happened. That was extremely bullish. So the trend since then was on an upper trend. Actually 10 and 20 never crossed, I think, from here. They never crossed until the major drop. See 10 and 20, they cross here, signaling a bearish starting a bearish trend. And then we have a massive bearish cross, one by one, right? We have a bearish cross between 50 and 10, 50 and 20, a bearish cross between 100 and 10, 120, bearish cross between 50 and 100. So you guys can see how laggy some huge moving average, especially in the weekly, are. Like, this is a bearish cross, happened after all the price crossed down. So this is not actually a bearish signal. Why? Because it's telling us what happened here. Okay? And when we see that bearish cross, I've talked about this many times, that bearish cross actually is right with probably the bottom of the trend. Okay, so the price at that point is probably the lowest that has been in the correction. I mean, here was lowest, but I mean, I counted that as a bottom. The same thing happened here in the 2014. This is a bearish cross. Don't confuse it with the bullish cross. This is bullish. Okay, it's bullish cross. Why it's bullish? Because the faster MA, so the 50, which is faster than the 100, you can say the smallest MA is crossing above the slower or the higher. The bearish cross is the opposite, so the faster MA, so the 50, is crossing below the slower, so the 100. Okay, so that's a bearish, and look, the bearish cross in coincidence with the lowest point, the lowest level of correction of 2014. Can you see that? So those were probably accumulation zone before the massive pump. So that probably was our accumulation zone, I hope. You can see the moving average 202 that stays keeping the price above it. And sorry, I'm not following the comments. If you have to look at the weekly Bitstamp chart with an 89 MA, very interesting where it lies through 89 MA. What kind of MA? Just a simple one? I just keep I mean, moving averages for me, especially on the higher time frame, they just help me to figure out a possible bear versus bull market. I'm not going to trade perfectly the moving average, because moving average can be 1 million and there is a moving average, there is simple, there is the weighted, there is the exponential. There's so many moving average, and I think everybody should use his own average based on what kind of trade he wants to do. So if I see that this works for me, 10 and 20, I'm gonna trade 10 and 20. If I go on smaller time frame for scalping, if I see that 20 and 50 work for me, I'm just gonna use a 20 and 50. You can use the weighted, you can use the whatever moving average. You can use the exponential, the weighted, the smoothed. I mean, every one of these moving average will formed based on different calculations, and some can put you out of the trade before, some can put you out of the trade later. So it just depends. It just depends. There's not one that works better than the other. You just gotta pick one, trade that. That's it. Otherwise, you're gonna go crazy. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, let's see the one that you're talking about. MA 89. So it's the blue one. Yeah, it's very similar to the 100. Very close to the 100, right? The green. Here is more perfect. Also here it works really well. But who knows? Maybe there was some. How did you heard about this moving average? Maybe there was one that was trying all of them, 81, 82, 83, to see which one it matches more, and say, hey, look at the 89. You know. But yeah, there are some confluences, like here the dump, and you might retest that. Very similar to the 100, I would say. By the way, what I was saying is that yeah, the bearish cross was at the same level of the bottom, and the bullish cross then gave signal the start of the bull run, and that's what we were waiting for. So if that will happen here, I hope somewhere there. We are already over 1 hour and 15 minutes. Well, whatever. That's fun. Okay. So weekly looks good. The 3-day looks even better. Actually, this 3-day should have a 200 moving average. The 200 is holding the trend. Let's see if that can be broken or not, because that's important. Yes, that's an important level. On the 3-day, I'm gonna type it down because I'm gonna check this one. 200 MA, 200 MA on 3-day time frame. It's an important one. Why it's important? Maybe you might like this one, gems, because it's the one that where the price broke and crashed. The 200 MA on the 3-day. Actually, this is even more interesting because there is a bearish cross. Look, all the bearish cross up in there. This is interesting, super interesting. Look at that. Bearish cross between all MAs. We have 10, 20, 250. Well, 250 is the dead cross, the one that most of the traders look at. 200 versus 50. Bearish cross. Boom. That's what caused it. I mean, it's right on the price, right on it. So this is not as the bearish cross that we've seen before that happened. I mean, this bearish cross happened because of this, but price dropping just below that cross, that's pretty cool to see. So this can tell you that even though moving averages are indicators that are very lagging, so they come from price action, some traders just sell because of those crosses, especially the most important ones, and that's the one that I look for. Okay, those are the cross 10, 20, 50, 100, 200 on daily, 3-day, and weekly. Those are the cross that I really look forward, because those are the cross that probably most of the traders are looking. If I go 89, for example, the one that we were talking about, 89, how many traders look at that 89? Maybe not as many as the most simple moving average, right? 10, 20, 50, 100, 200. So those are the ones that I will be curious to follow. So it's because it dumped there so hard, that's why I consider the price being above the 200 a good spot. Okay? Can it go down to retest? And it did once already. It did once. It dropped down to 6.1 on Bitstamp. Wow. Oh yeah, Bitstamp. That's where the whale sold the 30 million coins. That's why it dumped to 6.1 and then closed above. And that's good. Now we can dump again and drop where? Our level 7.2. 7.2. See there? 7.2. Can it drop more to 6.8? Yes, it can wick down. It can wick down to 7.2 or 6.8 or even lower, but if it stays above 7.2, that would be awesome. Okay, to be programmed to react. Oh yeah, for sure. Bots that sell compared to MAs, phew, all day, all day. And because those are the most important MAs, as you're saying, many bots are set to sell when those cross happen. So if all the bots sell at this level, because the 50 and the 200 is the dead cross that everybody looks at, bye bye. Went $200 on Kraken. Oh, who knows what happened? BC card. Oh wow. Anyways, so yeah, this is another good indicator. So for now, the most important indication that I got from this 1 hour and 20 minutes analysis at the moment are RSI oversold on 4-hour time frame to look for a bounce, because if it bounce here, we might go up. My range, my current range, current range 81, let's say 8278 range to look for breakouts there. So 82278 range. I know those range are $400 long, but fuck, BTC has been going up 1K up and down. Actually, my range is smaller. It's $400 difference, so it's not as big. But to predict a longer prediction on a mid-term, I have to consider such a big range. If you want to scalp, that doesn't have this analysis doesn't work for you. If you want to scalp Bitcoin, if you want to go into 1 hour and 30 minutes, this is not. I'm not doing the analysis for that. What else? Look at this See, those are things I notice when I leave them. Look at this moving average 200 on the 4-hour time frame, coming close, coming close. Let's see where it might hit. 7.4, 7.2. Yeah, the 100 worked here. Look how the 100 worked. Pretty close. I don't know if it's a coincidence there or not. I think it's a coincidence, but sometimes you see funny things. Here, the moving average 100 hit price again, right there, and then it dropped. So now what we are below moving average 100. So that's another bearish sign based on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so many things. What else? We looked many things. So we're saying RSI oversold on 4-hour time frame. It's important. Bearish divergence on 3-day time frame of RSI. It's also important. Bearish divergence on RSI. And 200 MA on 3-day, that holds for the price to stay up. If those guys don't hold, my targets are a little bit below on 6.8. Then if you drop below 6.8, it's a problem. Okay, my overall opinion is that we stay above the 200 on 3-day, and we have a massive bullish cross about to happen on the 3-day time frame between the 50 and 100. Let's see what this cross did in the past. So 50 crossing below 100. Just to compare. I'm not saying it's gonna do the same exact thing because price action is different, but just curious. Well, it started the bull run. Was a run here, right there. I can't believe it went so up. I cannot believe it. It's crazy. It's like it did a false breakout. Like it's like this. It was all manipulation, pretty much. Like how I see this price action that happen in the higher time frame. I just see. I wouldn't even consider this, to be honest. I would skip this. I think this was manipulation. Nice white like that, like it never was. Just Wells wanted to buy Bitcoin lower and think like it's been doing this, and now it broke up. So now you can retest 7.2 and then go up again, and then because this thing is just crazy. It's just insane that it crashed so hard and recovered. It's like a false breakout. Huh. I see in the monthly. I want to see the monthly. How it looks. Well, not even. I'm not gonna go over the monthly. It started, closed super green. That's good. Massive candle. Actually, 1, 2, 3 candles. Green. 3 soldiers look like. Pattern, and the red. I mean, even though if it drops half of the previous candle, it will still be bullish. So long I didn't check the monthly, man. I barely do. MACD didn't cross yet. But I mean, we have to wait a month in order to see this cross. What else? What else? What else I got? I want to talk about everything and then so you guys know whatever. However, let's see. The total market cap is important to look, I think. This is Bitcoin chart, okay. See the daily. So the daily total market cap, has been helping a bit. Not as precise, more in the lower time frame. 3-day. It's holding about this level. That's where the price stayed a bit, create some support inside those ranges. Created some support. It didn't care Bitcoin about the first one. We'll see if we can stay above this level. This is total market cap with Bitcoin. And then we have a total market cap 2, which is altcoin, which accounts for Tether. So doesn't give us a really clear picture because all stable coin are inside. So if I'm going to stable coin, would you count it as it counts as being in crypto, right? So we don't really have a perfect idea of what traders are doing, if they're moving the money out the market or not. I mean, they're not, but they are in stable coins, so they're not actually buying altcoins or Bitcoin with it, and we cannot know. From here, massive volume, of course, that's the first thing that comes in on my eye. Support resistance flip. I'm not gonna use this chart to predict an altcoin crash. I'm just looking at this chart to see how price will, our market cap will move. That's it. Interesting bounces. The 3-day breaker block that I trace on Bitcoin is actually a level that it's support resistance flip. Worked here, then since the crash it was never able to break above it. So will it be able to break here? I hope so. This is the opposite example. Act as support, then it broke, resistance failed, and dropped. So there's a logic in the chart, so that's why I trace it as an important level. Okay. And then let me see if I got any other chart that I forgot. This pattern that I don't like. This I really don't like this. I really don't like that. That's really bad. That's really bad. This is the same pattern, this yellow one, that happened here. Right there. Same story. Double spinning top, followed by a red candle that caused the crash. Weekly candles are important. They are important because every time they close, they really work. Like we see bearish engulfing on top of the uptrend here, and it caused a dump, another bearish engulfing, another bearish engulfing here, bearish engulfing there, bearish engulfing there, bearish engulfing here. So on top of every single spike, we had a bearish engulfing, and we were in full seller mode. Then at the bottom here we had a bullish engulfing. Green candle is higher than the red, right? Here's the red is higher than the green. This is a bullish engulfing, caused a little caused the spike, right? Massive bullish engulfing on weekly, and then we had another one here, a small one, but there was one bullish engulfing, another bullish engulfing at the bottom of a correction or a consolidation. So all candles that work. So we have a bearish pattern now. We have to see how this candle close, this red one, because this is the weekly. You know, if BTC can recover quickly, it don't close so bad, and close a little bit above it, that won't be as bad. But still, an evening star. August 17 also looked like a spinning top, but then jumped up much higher. August 17. What is it? Talking about this one? Because if you're talking about that one, that's at the bottom of the trend. Oh, 17, sorry. Let's see. August, so right here, yes, but it was followed by a green candle. If you count on this one, so there was a double top, a spinning top, but it was followed by a green candle. Okay, in this case, it's followed by a red candle. That's why I don't want this red candle to close red. I would like it to go up and close different. Okay. So when a spinning top happens, you don't play the spinning top. You see how the next candle reacts, okay? Because the evening star pattern is formed by 3 candles, so a green one, a doji, and a red candle. If that pattern appears, it's a bad story. And then you can see here on top, this was a bearish engulfing. The red candle engulfed totally the body of the previous one, and then BTC crashed. So they're not gonna work every single time. There can be some sometimes that things happen, some FOMO, some manipulation, and things don't work as predicted. For example, here we see a bearish engulfing and then a bullish engulfing straight after. So we were here in extreme FOMO anyways. This could play out since this week's no, because this candle didn't close yet. This evening pattern is not legit yet, but we need to go to 9K back up in less than, I don't know when this weekly will close, and we'll see. But you can see here, right? Green, doji, red, boom. And this might happen to green, doji, red, boom. So, like, I got, by looking at TA, I got so many bearish sign. The only the only bull sign is that we broke many levels. We're in full uptrend. we're still not in seller territory. We're not in seller territory until we go below 6.8, okay? Or 7.2 range. We're still in buyer's mode, even though sellers are coming in strong and crushing the buyers in this shorter time frame. Okay, so the good thing is that we're still in buyer's territory. Okay, this doesn't mean because we're in buyer's territory, sellers can make everything drop. Okay, too bad about this Elliott wave. I really want another push upward, but I don't like it. I don't like the third wave to be so shit. When I trace Elliott wave, I really like to see them long, really long, like an Elliott wave looks like this. Okay. If you see something like this, that's not an Elliott wave. This is what is it? A drive, a 3-drive pattern that's as a shape that looks like it. This 3-drive pattern, but I mean Fibonacci is on 127, something like that. Very 127. This is a drive pattern. This looks similar. Then there is 3 rising valleys, 3 falling peaks that look similar, but this is not an Elliott wave. An Elliott wave is more upward. That's why this is an Elliott wave, a perfect one. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Third is the highest and the first, and then ABC correction. Then we have another one that was not beautiful. I didn't really like this as much, and it failed. It didn't complete 5. But you know, 1 doesn't intersect 4. Third is the longest. It still follow all the rules of Elliott wave and ABC correction. So can it do another one? But yes, if it does another one, something like that, yes, it fits, but it won't fit the major one. Like the major Elliott won't really be something. Okay, so that's why I don't like it. I don't like the third push. Yeah. SPT. I need a clean chart. Oh, this short was beautiful. What a short. This was a patient trade. This was nice because there was a quick manipulation on the breaker block on 10 minutes time frame. So when I saw this spike and drop, I looked for a breaker and I went on 10 minutes time frame and already worked out. So if I go on 10 minutes time frame, yeah, it was too late, but it worked perfectly. So let me remove this. So which one is the breaker here? This one. This red is the breaker that took out the stop and got broken. So that's the breaker. So if you were scalping here, price drops below the breaker, comes back up, and then drops. That's the end, your entry. So what you do, you wait for the wick confirmation that the whales are here to crash the price even more, and you buy on the second attempt. You place a stop just above the swing high here. If you want to be risky, you take a stop, you place a trade, and you go higher, but that will destroy your risk and reward ratio. That would be my trade on 10 minutes time frame. Entry on when it comes back. You can even enter on the block here, press a stop just below, and you're good to go. And then the first stop would have been here on this red area, which is the block, the 4-hour block. Targets, usually I trace them on the higher time frame. So see that candle that reached all the way down? That could have been actually a massive 10-hour trade if you're able to do it. Why that red? Because it's a block. It's the block that caused the pump. See? Actually, it's another breaker block, to be honest. But yeah, you can either count this as a breaker block, because this breaker block is the one that caused the dump, got broken, and this actually is another entry. It's a long position entry with a stop below the breaker and long until I don't know where. I mean, it went all the way up. Actually, it went all the way up to the breaker block that I trace on the 4-hour time frame. So this breaker block worked really well. Then it dumped again. So this breaker block already worked out. So there was a trade, then it come back down here. There was another breaker block. You could have opened a long position from here to reach where? To reach now to the breaker block on the 2-hour time frame. That's the one here. Price reached all the way up. Place a stop just below the block. That's another 10-hour trade. And then you could have attempted a short position from this breaker block. That's what was the one that I took. I patiently waited for that. You guys can see the chart on the free channel. I traced a V like that. I did like this and drop. Okay, so price dropped and then came back, and that's where I shorted. Okay, and it worked really well. Everything started from the swing failure here, massive failure, bull trap, whales dumping, trapping all the longs. I say sentiment feels very much the same. Market structure looks somewhat similar. Wouldn't be surprised to see it go down to fifth or fourth. Really? Well, there's so much FOMO. Everything can happen. I mean, I never say no. You know, yes, it can go to, like, even at 20k we say it can never go to 3k, and it went. So who knows? So that's why I play safe. On a short time frame I try to see things. I don't think I will ever go long ever. Like long, I mean holding BTC forever. I rather trade altcoins. They're doing good. They're quicker, less manipulated, I would say, but they follow BTC, so that's the bad part. But you know, I'm finding a balance. If I feel bearish on BTC, I don't trade USDT market, and I check Ethereum BTC to trade altcoins, because Ethereum BTC, being the father of all the coins ICOs, if Ethereum goes up paired with BTC, that's good. That's good for altcoins and altcoin season too. So keep an eye on Ethereum BTC, and actually is holding right now. So that's why we have been trading altcoins in BTC market. So it's actually going up. See, it's been holding on this major level. See, it's been holding there. I told my members we can trade the BTC market until Ethereum stays above this level, and it actually did. BTC crashed hard, and Ethereum stayed, and most of altcoins stayed. LTC, XLM, TRX dropped a bit, but it was an uptrend. And many other, they stayed above it. They're actually going up. So Ethereum is an indicator of a possible altcoin season. Okay. In fact, if you see the overall picture, that's what all the altcoins look like. Major drop, consolidation, accumulation, very low, and they can go out, could go up. So in order to see the bull market, the altcoin season, we really need Bitcoin to stabilize, to drop maybe slower while altcoins go up. That's when we can make money, because if BTC crashes, we make money in altcoin, our USD value will go to shit. So it's because I care about my USD value, I really need the BTC to be stable or to drop slower and altcoin pump. Then altcoin stop for a second, they go in correction, and BTC boom goes up like crazy. LBC rip today, really? On Bitrex. Ooh, look at that volume. Oh my god, this is moving, eh? This is another indication of altcoin season. Wow, this coin can go up 20,000% to all-time high. Oh my god. I think it's worth to buy a bag. Wow. Look at the volume, eh? Wow. Well, I mean, at those levels, volatility is insane too, right? Like, who knows what is the market cap of this shit coin? I don't think it's that high. So, be careful, because, you know, can pump and dump. Those spikes probably 50%. Where are they? 60%. Yeah. So market cap would be terrible on this coin. So of course it goes up so quick. Even Linda coin went up so high. At 3 million, it's not terrible. 3 million in volume, it's not terrible. I thought it was a way lower. Actually, DAPS is doing something. What is it now? 6. Yeah, 6. Didn't crash that much. Boom. This is very low, but market cap is 24 million. Oh, volume, look at this. This is funny. On DApps, volume is actually lower, but market cap is 24 million, so way higher than Libra coin. Oh, they did? Oh, they're terrible. What a shit team. But I'm holding, I don't care. When bull run start, the coin will go to 100 sat. No problem. Okay guys, I think that's it. 1 hour and 50 minutes live stream. Gotta take care of my premium members. I have to do an altcoin live stream to talk about what's happening with altcoins, but I will do in my private channels. If many of you are listening, you're welcome in my private channels for $50 a month. Do TA and education. If you guys want to learn, become better traders, and play with less risk. I'm very active every day. I do those kind of live stream on a weekly basis, and I post many altcoins opportunities. Look, buono. Ethereum USDT, if it stays in this range, that's good. Shouldn't drop below that. You're welcome, Gems. Okay, guys. Have a nice day, and I will talk to you guys soon on the channels. Thank you so much.